The power rule of differentiation. This video is about the derivatives of x to the n, x to the 4, square root of x, 4th root of x, 1 over x to the 4, 1 over x, 4x cubed. The power rule of differentiation. If n is rational number, then the function f of x equal to x to the n is differentiable, and d over dx of x to the n is n times x to the n minus 1. That is, bring the power down and reduce the power by 1. So, example 1. Let's find the derivative of x with respect to x. That is, find d over dx of x. So, let's start with d over dx of x. Now, the power of x is 1. So, power rule says bring the power down and subtract 1 from the power. So, you have 1 times x to the 1 minus 1. Now, 1 minus 1 is 0. So, you will have 1 times x to the 0. And x to the 0 is 1. So, 1 times 1 is 1. So, therefore, the derivative of x is 1. So, example 2, find the derivative of x to the 4 with respect to x. That is, find d over dx of x to the 4. Now start with d over dx of x to the 4. So the power is 4. So now bring the power down and reduce the power by 1. So you have 4 times x to the what? Cube. So find the derivative of square root of x with respect to x. That is, find d over dx of square root of x. So let's start with d over dx of square root of x. Rewrite square root of x in rational exponential form. So that becomes d over dx x to the 1/2. Now we apply the power rule, and that says bring the power down and subtract 1 from the power. So now you have 1/2 and x to the 1/2 minus 1. Now, in order to subtract 1, you have to convert 1 into what? A fraction with denominator 2, and that is 2 over 2. So now you have 1/2, actually 1/2 minus 2 over 2. Now we can subtract 2 from 1, and so you will have 1/2 x to the negative 1/2. Now we apply this negative exponential rule, a to the minus n over a to the n. So you bring this down on the bottom and change the sign of 1/2. So now we have 1 over 2 times x to the 1/2. Now we change x to the 1/2 to radical, which is square root of x. So final answer is 1 over 2 times square root of x. Let's example 4. Find the derivative of 4th root of x with respect. That is, find d over dx of 4th root of x. Let's start with d over dx, 4th root of x. First convert this into rational exponential form, and that is becomes d over dx x to the 1/4. Now we apply the power rule, bring the power down, 1/4 down, and subtract 1 for 1/4. Now rewrite 1 as 4 over 4. And we can subtract 4 from 1, and we get 1/4 x to the minus 3 over 4. Now we use this rule, a to the minus n over 1 over n. So you bring this down on the denominator, change the sign of 3/4. So now you have 1 over 4 times x to the 3/4. Change this to radical form, so this will become 1 over 4 x cubed 4th root, or you can say 1 over 4 times 4th root of x cubed. Example 5. Find the derivative of 1 over x to the 4th with respect to x. That is, find d over dx 1 over x4. So let's start with d over dx 1 over x to the 4. We cannot apply the power rule here. It has to be in exponential form. So we rewrite 1 over a to the n, a to the minus n. So this makes it x to the minus 4. Now it's exponential form. Now we can apply the power rule, and which means you bring the power down negative 4 and subtract 1 from negative 4. And this becomes negative 4x to the negative 5. So now we can apply this. Using this rule, a to the minus n is 1 over a to the n. So this becomes negative 4 over x to the 5th power. And that's the derivative. Example 6. Find the derivative of 1 over x with respect to x. That is, find d over dx of 1 over x. So let's start with d over dx, 1 over x. So we move the x to the top, and it becomes d over dx x to the minus 1. Now we apply the power rule, and that says bring the power down, negative 1, x to the negative 1, subtract 1. Now this becomes negative 2. So now we have a negative x to the negative 2. Rewrite using the negative exponential rule as negative 1 over x squared. And that's the derivative of 1 over x. The constant multiple rule. If f is differentiable function and c is a real number, then c times f of x is differentiable, and d over dx of c times f of x is equal to c times f prime x. The combination rule. The combination rule is a combination of constant multiple rule and the power rule. That is, d over dx, c times x to the n, is c times n to the x to the n minus 1. So let's find the derivative of 4x cubed with respect to x. That is, find d over dx of 4x cubed. So let's start with d over dx, 4x cubed. So it will be 4 times, bring the power down, 3, multiply with the 4, and subtract 1 from 3. So now simplify, 4 times 3 is 12, and 3 minus 1 is 2. So the answer is 12x squared.